Well, a very good morning and welcome back to the Biathlon World Cup Tour. We're on phase 2 for the season and in Austria. Hochfilzen hosting this round, a venue that often hosts the first round of the season, but that recently has been held in Östersund. It's given an extra week for the snow to arrive and there is plenty here. Very, very good conditions. It's not exactly warm, but it's the snow we're concerned about, and everything, as I say, looks pretty good for the weekend's competition. 3 days of biathlon coming up. Well, a mixed bag of results over the year so far, and all the big names from last year have had one exceptional performance, most of them tripping up on other occasions. In terms of the Norwegians, Johannes Tingsbø has showed that he's got good ski speed, provided he has good skis. Even he struggles to win when the skis aren't working well. He won the first sprint of the season. Martin Fourcade was hot on his heels in terms of ski speed, but it was the Norwegian who came through to win.
Und in Richtung und nach Saalbach Hintergräben. Was steht da drauf? Niederwindingen grüßt Philipp, Philipp Horn. Und wir begrüßen alle Fanclubs, die heute hierher nach Hochfilzen gekommen sind und ihre unterstützt. Nochmals die erste 10 Starterinnen heute hier im Sprint. Bitte dabei. Number 1 from Ukraine, Biathlon. Nummer 2 und jetzt ganz laut wird aus Deutschland from Germany aus dem vierten
Welcome back to Hochfilzen. Here's the start sheet for today's race. Via Shemerenko has got the dubious honour of going off first. Tirilekov of Norway going 18. She needs something good just to boost her confidence. Not a brilliant start to the season. Susan Dunkley, also USA. Not her best season, but at 33, maybe we've seen the best of her. Let's hope not. Reuseland skiing incredibly fast. Goes number 24. Certainly someone to watch today. Looking for the Czechs. Quite a good team actually this year. Davidova certainly has a chance. And Dorothea Vera, the World Cup leader, starting number 38.
Yes, I think she feels good about this venue. She proved that last year by taking the win. Denise Herrmann, interesting. I thought she was going to set this season alight. Let's be honest, she didn't in Östersund. I think she might set it on light today. I think she's going to produce a good one.
So the starters gate is ready here in Hochfilzen via Shemerenko, who has won on 2 occasions in World Cup competition. She had a poor race here last year, finished 57th. She'll want to do better than that. Only shot clear on 2 occasions in the sprints last year. She needs a 0-0 to push her up the rankings, outside the top 30 in the World Cup rankings at the moment. She's much better than that, and she gets underway for Ukraine. She'll be followed out of the start gate by Vanessa Hintz of Germany, and the Germans wanting a bit of a revival. They need, I just feel they need 1 or 2 good performances, and then it will be business as usual.
That can sometimes happen. It's a confidence issue maybe, but I do think they are missing the great Dahlmeier. She retired at 25, retiring so early. Mark Kirchner said it doesn't matter, a new leader will come through.
Away goes Hintz, and 2 misses in the first sprint of the season. Only managed 35th position. Generally, sprints in the women's won with at least 9 hits, usually 10. There are a couple who ski fast enough to miss one and still be in contention. And Lena Heike of Switzerland has actually pretty much got herself into that bracket. She's skiing brilliantly.
She really is. And can you imagine the confidence in the Swiss team to have finished second in the relay on Sunday? It's just a massive turnaround. Their best ever previously was 5th. Normally they were 10th to 15th. So a big step up.
But we have to remind you of the individual. 0, 0, 0, 3. So 3 penalty minutes added. She only lost by 1 minute and 5 seconds. So she now knows that that first win is just round the corner. Shafatova for the Czech Republic. Davidova, Puskachikova both racing as well. And the Czechs also missing a big star. Kukalova has finished.
That's right, and it always creates a gap when the big name goes. It's been a couple of seasons now, but I was expecting them to have produced a little better in Östersund, maybe this week in Hochfilzen.
Now, Camilla Zook, maybe not a name you're hugely familiar with, but she showed us what she could do out in Salt Lake City last year. Finished 6th in the sprint there with a clear shoot. Her success, she's not quick enough to win if she misses, but if she shoots clear, then top 10s are possible. I
think so. What was she? 2nd in the sprint at the Junior World Championships last year. Her credentials are all there. She's a young athlete in this field, and developing with each race. This track, Patrick, it's not, I was going to say not that difficult, every World Cup is, but the big issue is, yes, there's a climb coming up now, but the 28-meter rise within 40 seconds of coming in to shoot, that really does take the sparkle out of your legs, certainly in stand shooting when you're trying to hold the rifle steady.
You're saying 28-meter rise from under the road bridge up into the range area?
Prior to range, so the descent to the range is so quick, it's only 35, 40 seconds prior to shoot, so that is a factor. It's downhill there, but you have to work on the downhill section to the range. So you really still feel the stress of that 28-meter rise climb.
Which comes before the downhill, not as you come up into the range. That's about 2.8-meter rise.
That absolutely. Yeah. But yes, you've got 35, 40 seconds recovery from the top of that rise. So it is a factor on this range. And the win today, I think, will also make it quite testing for all the biathletes.
So Hintz has plenty of supporters here. It's a well-supported World Cup and easy access for so many countries. Obviously Austria, but Germany, the border not far away. The Italians, they've only got about an hour and a half if they're living in the South Tyrol. A couple of hours maybe. And there are plenty here. Elvira Öberg for Sweden, the younger of the 2 sisters, and my goodness, has she had an explosive introduction to the World Cup circuit, doing absolutely brilliantly, lying 20th in the World Cup. I don't think she would have dreamt of that at the start of the season, and she's only 20. Already already producing some good results. When she, when she gets a bit more consistent with the rifle, Mike, she's going to be a real threat.
And I think it says it all. Your first ever World Cup sprint race, finishing 12th position as she did last week at home. A lot of pressure at home. But I thought that Elvira started out looking like she's a much better biathlete this week. Those great first World Cup results have absolutely given her confidence.
Now, Heikki, in the middle of your picture, had started number 3. She's closed a lot of ground down on Vanessa Hintz, which is interesting as we switch to Marieda of Finland. Only did 2 rounds of the World Cup last year. So Ada really needs a top 30. She needs a good bucket full of World Cup points to give the coaches confidence and the selectors a cause to keep her on the tour.
I think so. What about Urleva? It's been a long time since she took that World Championships win. That was over the longer distance, 15 kilometers. She's a psychologist, so I'm sure she's trying to manage her mindset to make herself believe she can win again.
Well, she was 3rd here last year, having shot 0-0. So, that, as a psychologist, she will use that information better than most. And while we watch Hauser, Mike, just explain how some courses suit some athletes.
It's in terms of climbing, some athletes are climbers. The short stature, say lighter body weight, can manage the steeper climbs. Some athletes are better on the flat. There is quite an element of flat skiing and downhill skiing on this track in comparison to Östersund last week. But to be honest, those who showed great form last week will carry that again this week. So we're looking at the same. Probably the fastest 15 skiers from last weekend in this race will produce the same fastest times this week. Margins are small though.
So Shemerenko, the first in. They may have thought they'd got rid of the wind having left Sweden, but this is an interesting range. We're at the head of the valley and the wind can be inconsistent. There's a factory just down the road that always gives away the wind direction and the wind strength. Lots of movement between 4 and 5, but they've all gone down. That's what's important. A 28-second shoot. We're not going to see too much better than that.
I thought she was very brave. The wind, while she was shooting, was very... You can see the flags there. It was strong from the left. She didn't hesitate, pause, or have any fear, and nailed all 5 targets. Well, maybe we'll see 12 athletes shooting the perfect score, 10 out of 10 today.
What do we have? 2 or 3 up in Sweden.
It's not going to be Vanessa Hintz on that list.
8 seconds down coming in. Another 25, 26 added at least. So we're looking for a deficit of around 34, 35 seconds. Now, Heikki, oh, what a shame. All that good skiing thrown away with that first round. Is that going to be the story of today, the first round? First and last. That's disappointing. And really in the sprint, there's no comeback from that as we go back to the start. Tiril Eckhoff, former world champion in this sprint discipline. She won that 2016? 2016 in Oslo, I think it was. Or was it 2017?
2016. Yep, 2016.
We haven't seen that sort of form so far. In terms of ski speed, Mike, in the individual, she was, what, 4th fastest? Roysland, her teammate, the fastest ski time. And so Eckhoff certainly a potential winner, but the shooting's been poor, even by her standards.
Well, I think you're right. And last week, 40th position in this race, and the perfect 5 out of 5 prone. She missed 4 out of 5 standing, so she's quite excitable. I think she's aggressive. She attacks her races. The day she calms down on the range, I think she can produce 10 perfect shots.
Now, Ada with a faster than normal ski, taking time out of Shemerenko. She's actually a little bit slower than Heikki, but Heikki with a mistake, 2 mistakes on the range.
This must feel, well, it does feel like home for Mari Eder. Yes, she's Finnish, races for Finland, but she's married to an Austrian. They live in the beautiful little Lake District region of Austria. Only, what, an hour's drive from here. Pulse rates dropped already, sub 150, 150 beats per minute. Slow routine here, 20 seconds to first shot. That's not competitive today.
Yeah, what are we looking at? High 30s in terms of total time. So down goes number 5. Well, we didn't pick up on that, but averaging 5.5 to 6 seconds per shot. The fastest looking at 2.5. Hauser, she's one of the fastest. That's more like it, should be sub 30. Comfortably sub 30. 28.8 and matches Shemerenko in terms of shooting speed and, of course, accuracy as well.
Rico Gross, the German, on the scope there for Austria. Well, no expression, but he's got to be delighted about that start from Lisa Theresa.
Austria so often, Mike, or always, I can't think of an occasion where it hasn't been a strong men's team and a you know, one good athlete in the women's. Why do they struggle to get a full world-class squad on the women's side?
They were very late alongside the Swiss team in terms of developing the women, but yes, 5 biathlon schools were developed, what, some 10 years ago. I thought the big names in women's biathlon would be coming through as a team, but Innerhofer and Lisa Theresa Hauser, I think today can produce top 10s, maybe even better.
Confidence building as Öberg went through the chute, but like so many, throwing that first one wide. No surprise to see Eckhoff coming through the timing one with the fastest time. I suspect Roysland is one of very few athletes out there who can match that sort of performance over the first K.5.
The Norwegian team just have raised their game on the skis, without a doubt, coming into this new season. It's quite a high benchmark when you start your first World Cup, so aggressive and such fast track time. It can only go one way when you're setting such fast times, but let's hope they can hold that speed, hold their form throughout the season. Back with
Erlöver, and Erlöver's best chance generally comes in the individual race, but 4.2 behind is respectable coming in, but it needs a 26 second shoot to get back in contact with the race leader, and that means releasing the first round at about 10.5. It's not going to happen.
Not bad. She is a fast shot. I like the way she came all the way up the range to lane 1, the lane in which they zeroed.
Well, that's pretty healthy. Have a look at the time. 26.4, fastest so far, and she's undone some of the damage that was done on that first loop. So Erlöver keeps herself in contention, cuts the deficit to 3.6, and now she's got to hope that those who started faster start to decelerate as the race goes on. Good crowd for a Friday, Mike. I think there's going to be some atmosphere here over the weekend.
The shooting has been good, Patrick, in this wind and the conditions. 6 out of the first 12 through the range have shot 5 out of 5, 50% so far. Lisa Theresa almost catching up with Eder. It's a 30-second deficit. She's almost clawed back. Every athlete starting 30 seconds apart.
Claire Egan, you just got a glimpse of from America. Egan and Dunkley, the two strongest Americans. Egan, of course, the athletes representative on the board, and so big responsibility for her.
I think she's been very good in that role, and it also helps the fact that she speaks, well, 5 languages. Then she learned Korean when she went to the Olympics. She's great with languages.
So, are we going to see the very first athlete hit the perfect score?
Interesting hand support there, so she's resting the whole weight of the rifle on her knuckles. It's designed to hold that as a stable platform, and she does shoot well normally in this position. It allows you to keep your hips more level and distribute the weight evenly through both feet.
I'd have to have a metal plate in the glove to take the tension out of that position, but look at that. That is how to put the pressure on the rest of the field. 104 starters coming after Shemerenko, and I think it's fair to say now that 9 out of 10 is required to have a chance of winning. Tyrelekov generally does okay. 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5 in the prone. It's the stand that where she comes unstuck.
It does, and I don't think we doubted she would set the early fastest time. She's done that by almost 5 seconds ahead of Heike.
Oh, she was starting to think about the standing shoot, I think, through the last one wide, and suddenly the pressure is on, but still she's going to be within 15 seconds of the race leaders. Both eyes wide open.
And the rifle canting, leaning over to the left. That's the way she always shoots. You have to hold that position all the time in zeroing and in racing. And Patrick, I think, is very disappointed with that. He knows that she can hit 5.
They can all hit 5. It's a question of whether they will on the day. Now, Shvatova wearing 4. Lena Heike of Switzerland missed 2 in the prone.
I think we'll notice a lot of athletes today will shoot in lanes 25 to 30. There's less wind there.
That is a very, very good shoot from Shvatova, and she's going to put Shemerenko under a little bit of pressure with the speed she shot. Another sub 30-second shoot, and the margin cut dramatically. 12.1 coming in. She's reduced that to 1.8 behind, and Shvatova will have the Czech fans, I was going to say on their feet, but most of them are at home watching this on the box, so we'll see how they get on. Men's sprint today, and just to run you through the program, it's a sort of bit of a mix and mash. Tomorrow, Mike, women's relay and the men's pursuit, and then the men's relay on Sunday with the women's pursuit on Sunday.
It's a busy 3 days. As an athlete, yes, they had a busy time in Östersund, but that was spread over 2 weekends. So an intense 3 days of racing here. And then, of course, another 4 days break after that.
Now, Lisa Teresa Hauser, clear on the first shoot. Not only was it clear, one of the quickest shoots we've seen so far.
She's 13 seconds behind Shemerenko.
Roysland taking 10 seconds out of everyone. Hauser needs this. She's got it. Lovely shooting, and to shoot clear at home is no easy task. So with only, what's that, 7 athletes through, we've already got 2 clear performances, which is about all we got in the whole race in Sweden.
Heike, sorry, setting some of the early fastest times. She's missed 3 in total, down in 5th place.
So 4 out of 5 for Roysland, and one of maybe 2 or 3 who are quick enough. I was going to say Herman is quick enough to miss and still win, but she's not shown her true ski speed so far this year. Dorothea Vera starting and looking to hold on to the red and the yellow bib. The yellow is the World Cup leader. The red, as I'm sure you know, is the discipline leader. So she's leading the sprint, having won the sprint in Sweden last week. 39, Tandrevold, silver medalist from the World Championships in Östersund last year. That was a big day for her. Strong.
I love the explosiveness there through the lower leg, great impact and timing to get the energy to push her forward. And I think Tandrevold, she showed us in Östersund that she's improved her shooting. She has calmed down, often a little bit excitable, similar to Eckhoff, but she has calmed her shooting down. Takes a little longer, and it paid off last week.
So, Erlova with a real chance to take the lead away from Shemarenko.
Interesting how the head supports, cheek piece is putting so much pressure on her nose, actually, so the cheek is taking a lot of weight, therefore the head's being pressed down through the rifle. It looks uncomfortable.
Well, if you take as much pain as you can stand each time, you know the rifle's in the same spot. It's not helped, though.
It hasn't helped, unfortunately, and videoing the fall of the shots, or at least the position, will they learn anything from that? Maybe a bit rushed.
Öberg now away from home. Will she relax a little? Remember, she's the Olympic and the world champion over the individual discipline, the longer race that the women do, and Öberg looking for a good sprint just to ease herself up into the top 10 of the World Cup standing. She's actually 10th at the moment, but already 35 points behind. I don't think there's any need to press the panic button yet, Mike, but certainly by the end of this week, if you want to win the Crystal Globe by the end of the season, you want to have produced at least one top 3 result.
You need those points, and when you look back at, I was thinking about another athlete, Vitozzi, when she came, what, 70th in the sprint. Luckily there wasn't a pursuit on the back of that last week, and that's her saving grace, so she can get rid of that result. Now she has to get top 10s.
So a typically steady start from Dorothea Viera. I think that's something we're going to see a lot this season. Just a conservative first lap, and then she accelerates. She was faster than Herman up in Sweden on laps 2, 3, and in the individual she just got better and better. And it seems to be a format that's working for her, and that's the sort of race tactic that Bjorndalen started to employ towards the end of his career.
He did, and it worked. And I think we're looking this year at a track time overall, a much stronger Dorothea Viera. She's got everything now, the shooting and the ski speed.
Well, here comes Ukraine's Shemarenko. She has started in perfect style, 22.01, but it's the 2 clear shoots that are absolutely critical, and she could be looking for her best of the season. Incidentally, Shemarenko still leading after the second shoot. Mironova of Russia has taken the lead away from Shemarenko after the first shoot, but we know that Shvatova of the Czech Republic is on the charge, and looks as if she's going to take a few seconds out of Shemarenko on that last lap. Davidova, Mike, for the Czech Republic. Are we going to see the Czechs do what the French did last week? Well,
I think that every day that Marketa races, she can create some magic, but she'll never be the fastest shot, certainly not this season. But it looks like it's a little faster. She's normally 20 seconds to first shot.
3.5, 3.6, 3.7, 3.6. It's a beautifully rhythmical shoot, and she gets the 5 as a result, just over the 30-second mark. But what's that, 8 seconds thrown away? That's going to be interesting. Just outside, but competitive, and another 5 in the stand. She could be the one. Tyrell Eckhoff, here come the mistakes. Oh, she missed 1 in the prone, 1 in the stand, and even she is not going to be able to make up for that, I don't think, today. But it will probably be Eckhoff's best result of the season.
Yes, I think she, comparing it to last week, she missed 4 targets out of 5 in the standing. It was windy again today, and here's the punishment for that shot missed in standing. Penalty loop, it's not a flat penalty loop, much faster on this half of the, quite a circular penalty loop.
Did you like anti-clockwise or clockwise penalties?
I'm just thinking of...
Oslo is clockwise.
Oberhof is clockwise. I preferred clockwise. Don't know why. Stronger left leg, probably.
Antolz is clockwise. Yeah, I think it's the inside leg. The inside leg's the one that gets tired because it's sort of doing a static contraction. Shvatova, 5.4 inside. She's done really well. She's taken 7 seconds out of Shemerenko on that last lap, and she will certainly be hoping that's good enough to stay in the top 10. But still so many big names to come. Justine Brizard, who won the last race, makes a mistake in the prone, and that's going to make life difficult, Mike, but skiing well, 6.6 inside everyone else coming into the range. She's looking good.
Quite interesting, she said that she wanted to quit after the sprint race, stopping her career, as she said, after finishing, what, 83rd? And then 3 days later, she won the race. That's why I love biathlon. You can have a bad day on the range, 3 days later, sort the mind out, hit the targets, and you can win.
So Hauser, with the perfect score, cannot match the best. Remember, Shvatova, who's leading, has missed a target, so that's some 25 seconds added, showing incredibly good ski speed. 15 outside, so losing something like 40 seconds over the distance to the race leader. Vera is back in business. Oh, misses number 5. That's careless. I thought that sounded like a hit, and well, a smile usually indicates that it was close.
I like the way that Vera, she never gives away expression. She misses, take the pain, and she doesn't dwell on it. And I think that's what makes her so reactive on the rifle. She doesn't think, and that's what she admits. She said as soon as she starts thinking about it, she can miss. So you go into that zone of rhythm, and even when she misses, hey, it happens, and she gets on with her race.
But the harder or the bigger the occasion, the harder it is to stop your mind working, thinking about the consequences of coming away as number 1. Royseland, she's made up a lot of time as a result of having missed one on that first shoot. So she shot the same as Tirilenkov. It'd be interesting to see which of those two is quicker.
It's quite interesting. Sorry, the Italian coach, Oberegger, he's so excitable, he's so Italian, and yet all the Norwegians, the coaches alongside him, they're also calm, typical Scandinavian. So he's just a ball of energy on the range and watching everything, twitching around. But he's been a very good coach to the women.
Eckhoff, incidentally, of Norway, 17 down, having missed 2 targets. Here's just a slow-mo of Vera, who has left having missed, was it shot number 5 that went wide. Royseland has come through, actually 1.1 down on Eckhoff in 5th place after that second shoot. So it'll be interesting to see what she does. Hannah Öberg, and the ski speed is very respectable indeed.
That's one element that Hannah didn't display last weekend. Her ski speed was down by somewhat 10 seconds a lap on last year, but she certainly looks a lot better today.
This is a solid shoot again. Good consistent time in between the ranges. That's sub 30, just 27.3. Certainly goes into the top 6 in terms of shooting speed, and she's closed the gap on the leaders by 1.3. Yeah, that keeps her in a really good position. She's getting more and more consistent, which I think is why so many people, threw her name into the hat when it came to winning the overall this year.
Yes, we saw that consistency coming through last year.
Oliver, 6th position. 2 misses on the stand. Take those away, and that would have been a very, very impressive time indeed. So Shvatova leads. Shemerenko, who started 1, is in 2. Hauser of Austria, 3. And Zuk of Poland, really good performance from her. She lies in 4th at the moment, but only 11 across the line so far.
Coming in soon for stand shooting, Patrick, we've got Mironova. She's leading after the prone shooting. Davidova, 2nd place after the prone. They're coming in soon with bibs number 31 and 33.
Now, Brorsen's last shoot in an individual race, 3 misses in the stand position, and she knew she would have won had she hit all 5. Slightly different situation because she's down on the best at the moment. So that's an extra 3 seconds per shot on
2 breaths two slow breaths in between each shot. Some athletes, most athletes, taking 1. She's 1, 2, 3 breaths there.
So for someone starting biathlon, Mike, do you learn to shoot quickly and just take 1 breath and take lots of misses? Or do you learn to hit and then speed it up?
I think you learn to hit first, so you learn that process of what good sighting is, good operation through the trigger, and not snatching the trigger. Mironova's missed 1, but had she hit that target, she'd have gone out first by a huge margin. So I think you have to sight and learn sighting first of all, and then progress with fearless, faster shooting.
Well, I think Mironova may well take the lead, despite the fact that she's gone and missed 1. She's got 20 seconds to get inside via Shemarenko's time. This is an incredibly quick ski from her.
Well, the same with Urlova, her skiing. She missed 2 targets, but her ski speed has raised so much this week. Well, she is. Mironova, 8.5 seconds ahead.
Well, that's extraordinary.
And that's, it's 10 ahead of Shavativa, who also missed 1. And then Shavativa picked up her final lap speed to pass Shemarenko.
Tirilekov just missing out on the fastest time. I think she's going to go ahead of Shemarenko. She does by a second, and into second place. Roysland, remember, is chasing, and Roysland, on the form we've seen recently, may well overtake Ekhoff and could possibly take the lead away from Shavativa. But Mironova's ski speed is the talking point around the stadium at the moment.
I'm wondering if Davidova has had a fallout there. Her ski speed's normally good. She was only 2 seconds behind Mironova going into the second lap, but she's lost a huge amount of speed.
Yeah, and just thrown away 50 seconds. Now, what about Herman? Last year, she was always had green figures coming into the range, and usually double figures. But as you can see, 3.3 off the pace with a miss as well. This is unlikely to be Herman's first win of the season.
Interesting, taking 10 seconds for the last shot. That's a huge time, and the brain is saying, I've got to get it down. She achieved that, but a penalty lap is only 25 seconds today. Yeah, Christian Meringer, no expression, but watching her ski off into the distance.
Now, chance for Brezard to back up her brilliant win in the individual in Östersund. Oh. Shot 2.000, Mike, on that occasion. And 3 misses. That's 450 extra meters to ski. Brezard will not be getting her second podium of the season.
Frank Bidou just noting down where those shots missed. He'll debrief her later.
Now, Vera, careless 5th shot on that prone. It all looked good. She fooled me, and I think she thought it had hit as well.
Can she regain something here?
Now, what are we going to see in terms of shooting speed? She is capable of shooting faster than anyone. Is she relaxed?
11 seconds first shots. That's pretty good. 1.8, a little slower this time. 3.3 on the 4th shot.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. 19.1 outside coming in. Mironova's time, 15.05. I think she's going to be inside. And if she does what she's done this season so far, this last lap will be quick. Tandrevold for Norway, just preparing to shoot in the stand position. Very different position to the one we've just seen from Vera, who has exited with 5.4 to play with. Tandrevold, 4.7 advantage coming in.
This is what she's achieved this season. Last year we saw her releasing in 14 seconds, restless, excitable, very much more control this season. That's fantastic.
Well, having had a long period with no one going clear, suddenly 2 in quick succession, hit the perfect or score. Actually, Vera, my mistake, Vera missed one in the prone, didn't she? But she hit 5 in the stand. Tandrevold clean both times and has 3.8 to chase down. And Mironova, who was right up there with the lead, now finds herself in 3rd position. But Mironova, the quickest skier of those 3 so far.
This is going to be interesting. Tandrevold, when she's told she's 3.8 off last year's overall World Cup winner, she'll be chasing that down.
That's what you want in a coach. The Jürgen Klopp of women's biathlon.
You want to work for someone who is as passionate as that. And he has done a lot of positivity for the Norwegian team.
Well, slightly surprised to see Roysland losing time. She has gone ahead of Tyrell Eckhoff. She was 20 down at 6.4. So I'm not sure she's going to hang on to a podium. What about Urberg? 2.9, quickest so far. Generally better at the individual. Generally better on the big occasion.
She needed that 4th shot. She didn't get it.
So, penalty loop to do, and Vera's time of 15 minutes will stand fast as the #1 Swede has to turn onto the penalty loop. Away she goes to the left. Slower tempo than most, Mike, but she's a tall athlete.
She's a strong athlete, covers a lot of distance, every compression through her working leg. She gets good glide over, just trying to get the time round here. I make that about 25 seconds for a penalty loop. Take that shot away, she would have been out in 1st place.
Well, this is a tight race, and so much is going to come down to the ski speed on the final loop. Looking at the times coming out of that 2nd shoot, Urberg, as you saw, just going into 7th, only 22 down. Eckhoff and Roysland were 30, 31 and 32 behind the current leader, Dorothy Vera. So, Innerhofer is quick. This is a big opportunity. We've seen Hauser with a good performance. She's currently lying in 5th, having hit all 10. We're going to have 2 Austrians clear all 10. Oh,
didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. There's tension through the rifle. And again at home, she was thinking, I can do this today. She could have won this race hitting 10. She skis that well this year.
Rico Gross, evidently being a coach is hard work. Maybe he was up all night watching the election.
He's cold.
So 11 seconds down for Mironova, or 11 seconds up, I should say. That's a very, very good final lap. But some of the faster starters, 38.39. What about Mäkäräinen? Look at that time coming in. She can afford 1 miss and still be in the running for top spot. Well, there it is.
There it is. Let's get them all now. She's had a great track record at this venue.
Yeah, I think they're enjoying shooting here. Oh. So much easier. She's not had a great track record this season with the standing shooting, Mike, but 2 still gives her a chance of top 5. But I think the race leaders, the likes of Tandrevold, Mironova, Vera, can rest easy at the moment. Vera's accelerating, Mike, 14.3. She was only 5 clear of Mironova coming out of the range. So again, we're seeing that pattern of steady, fast, flat out, which seems to be the way to get your best time.
It does. But what about Tandrevold? She was told she had 3.8 seconds to make up to potentially take the win today. And that's a good place to be, chasing rather than being chased. It's not in her favour, though, at the moment.
Tandrevold was 3.8 down. Oh. She's got closed out to 3.5. It's still possible, but this is the big climb, and this is where she's got to make up that time, because Vera's a really good downhill skier, and you can bet your bottom dollar that Vera will have a good set of skis on her feet. So I cannot see Tandrevold gaining too much time when they come, well, from the top of the climb into the finish.
She's running out of track time, isn't she? Just the top of this climb, another 15 seconds of climbing, then it's the good fast descent.
Herman, 25 down. So, skiing at the same sort of speed as Dorothy. Vera, last year, she was at least 10 seconds quicker per lap.
She was. I'm surprised. I really am surprised, having watched the early races, season races in Shushan. She did set a very good track time on Sunday in the relay for the women, but it's not working today.
Kryuku of Belarus, of course, her team missing the presence of Daria Domracheva, who has won here in the past.
Kryuko put in a very good performance here, her best of the season. 6th last season in this race, and that was hitting all 10 targets.
Of course, this was the venue for the World Championships back in 2017. Kukalova the winner on that occasion, with Dalmar and Chevalier behind her. Vitozzi was the best of the Italians on that occasion, but today it's going to be Vera. And look at the time, look at the gains she's made on this last lap. She came out of the range, as I mentioned, just 5 ahead of Mironova. She's destroyed the Russian on that final loop. Brilliant skiing. Well, just looking for Vitozzi, Mike.
She missed one in prone, and she was down in 31st position, some 37 seconds behind. And in the standing shoot, yeah, she got all 5 up into 12th place. She should be in quite soon.
Started number 41. Tandrevold into second, 5.9 down, so losing a bit of time from the top of the hill. Yeah, she missed her opportunity, but may well end up on the podium. So Mironova, in the space of a minute and a half, has gone from first down to third. Fialkova now, is she going to join the party? This is looking good. A 1.8 advantage, little slower on the range. Question is, what she got left for the last lap? Actually, my money is still on Vera with this little battle, Mike, because that ski speed over the last lap, so impressive.
It certainly was. Fialkova, though, for me, I think she's got a real chance to pass Mironova, who's only, what, some 5 seconds ahead of her at that point.
2.5 kilometers, remember, each lap, so a total distance at 7.5. Third race of the season. Is she going to make it 2 wins out of 3?
Isn't that amazing? A minute and a half later, she looks like she's just been out for an easy ski.
Yeah, she's in good shape, in really, really good shape, as we watch Hannah Öberg. And Öberg, after that second shoot, down in 8th position, only 22 off the lead. Now, if she stays 22, that's good enough for 4th position. Mironova, 18 behind. I think Mironova's going to survive this challenge from Sweden's number 1. It's going to be close. Shvatova on 29, could be going down into 5. She will go down into 5. And Öberg, well, she'll regret that one miss, because 24.3, she would have given Vera a run to the line. That would have been very, very tight indeed. But encouraging signs from Öberg. That's really what she needed. I think we could see something good from her in the pursuit.
It feels that way, doesn't it? I don't know what happened last week. Maybe the home pressure. She didn't ski as fast last week as she did today.
Well, I said by the time number 50 had gone through the range, we would know who was going to win this race. There's one small question mark. Fialkova has produced a really good opening couple of laps. She's in 4th, 11.2, so there's a chance. I wouldn't put a single cent on it, but there is a chance she's going to beat Vera.
There is a chance, but it is very slender, I think. You never know.
Makarainen, Mike, 2 misses, 46 seconds down. Her trump card, like Denise Herman, is not there.
This was her trump card, the ability to climb these hills faster than anybody. I still love her technique. The right hand comes in close to the side of her head. She gets good slide through from her lead leg, and she just easily shuffles her way up the hill. I know the commitments from that Dorothy Vera had this summer with the World Championships in Italy. That's marketing commitments. Many said it was a distraction to her training, but she said, no, I always prioritize training, and the evidence here is clear to see that she's a faster skier, shooting much the same and at the same speed. Almost untouchable at the moment.
Yeah, aggressive skier. Looks a little stronger to me than last year as we watch Fialkova still at 15.7. She was 11.2, so the gap is growing, and if she stays at 15.7 she can still push Mironova of Russia off the podium. At the moment it's Vera who leads, Tandrevold in second place, 5.9 behind, Mironova hanging on in there, who started first of the powerhouses, and she lies third at the moment, but only 18 seconds off the pace of the race leader. Makarainen is going to end up around the 45-second mark behind. And just looking to see what Makarainen did between the last shoot and 6.4. She's lost time, Mike. Her fitness is not there.
That's surprising. Her last lap here historically, and she's had more podiums at this venue than any other. Loves this terrain, loves this course, but not quite there. She has a chance though, Patrick, to pull back in the pursuit competition.
Well, she's going to have to wait for her first win of the year. That's assuming she's going to get one. She's got 26 World Cup wins, almost as many as everyone else in the field put together, and certainly as many as everyone else if you take Dorothea Vera out, who has 8 to herself. Maybe 9 come the end of today. It's looking that way as we watch Fialkova now at 18.4, exactly the same time that Mironova is behind the race leader. So the race is on for the podium, and I think Mironova will relax a little, having seen that last split.
So Fialkova's lost 7 seconds to Vera from the range to this point, and not much track time left.
Well, she's getting the splits there. The coach right down to the bottom of the coaching panel. I'm surprised he didn't go a little bit further, actually, because Fialkova needs some help desperately. And the right words from the right coach can make all the difference in the last K.
It's incredible because your brain is going through a lot of troubling thoughts or positive thoughts. I'm doing well, I'm in 4th position, I could move up into 3rd. She's doing all of that, but then some outside influence, some positive comments, and even the way you shout it, a coach shouts those comments, it can really just flicker another switch to bring something more to your legs.
Can you ever remember an occasion where it really made a difference to you?
Many occasions, to be truthful. I'm trying to think of the most, or the day which had most effect. Probably in Minsk when I came 12th at the World Championships, with 4 kilometers to go. I had no idea where I sat in the field. I knew the shooting was good. I'd hit all the targets, but still no information. We didn't have many backups. So a German coach actually told me I was in 5th place, and I could not believe it. And those last 3.5 kilometers were probably harder than I've ever pushed in my life. So yes, it depends. Just getting information. You're in your own personal battle to get something else coming in from the outside.
Yeah, but slightly extraordinary that all athletes need it, but that athletes aren't capable of producing that effort without it.
It's incredible because you're doing what you can. You need the brain stimulated to dig that little bit deeper.
Well, Fialkova has had the information she needs, but it's not quite enough to get herself up into 3rd position. She misses out by a couple of seconds and drops down into 4th. So certainly lap 1 and 2 were very, very fast from Fialkova. And I think with Vera pacing it the other way round, that was inevitable. She's in 4, having come out of the range in 4th position. So she hasn't lost any places, just lost a bit of time. Again, we have a look at the standings. And I don't think we're going to see any changes in the top 3, but we do have a field of 105, so we'll keep our eye out for some big surprises.
Just as we see the standings there from 11th to 20th, I'm thinking we've got Elisabeth Högberg. She's won an IBU Cup race this season. That's why she's here. And Solimdal, who's won here, her only 2 victories in World Cup racing. She won a sprint and a pursuit here. They're just going to come in the next couple of minutes for their first shoot in prone position.
Yeah, we've had 80 through the range so far, 81, 82 now. 86 is Högberg of Sweden, and Norway's Sulumdal starting, just looking for her start number.
88.
88.
And the other small factor here, I think the track is much the same, but the wind seems to have dropped off on the range, therefore a little easier in terms of shooting.
Yeah, the tracks are in good condition.
Have a look at the flags, they really have dropped off. And here's Högberg.
But there was more wind when they zeroed. It creates a little bit of a problem.
It does. Hopefully the coaches will have should have been informed on the track that the wind has dropped. Well, she zeroed 1 hour and 15 minutes ago, so there were changes. Hope she got it right. Good to see Wolfgang there beside Nielsen on the range. Wolfgang Pickler. He's done so much for Swedish biathlon over the last 20 years, 25 years.
Still as passionate as ever, and I think he'll be reasonably happy. Hannah Öberg has gone well, and there's so much competition in the women's might now as we watch Sulumdal come in for her first shoot. But you know, the fact that you now have to shoot 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 to have any chance of winning just shows you how good Magdalena Forsberg was. Would win race after race after race. She had Wolfgang Pickler had Zidek, who got into winning ways. Of course, Helena Jonsson as well.
He's done so. He's given. I mean, he would select his athletes well. They needed a good mindset. They needed to sign up to a tough program. And Sulumdal. Oberegger just checking the scores there. This is competitive. I thought it might well be, and she could keep us on the edge of our seats to the end of this race. It's going to be, what, 12, 13 seconds behind? 11.2.
Well, that puts her into 11th place, and another clear shoot. 11 seconds will put her into the top 4. Bichon. Now, French Mike. It was party time for them in Sweden. Couldn't do anything wrong.
Yes, the best of the French at the finish so far. C'est Breza, who won the individual in Östersund. She's down in 19th.
Well, she's 12.6.
And Simon actually the best of the French and 13th at the finish.
Yeah, just a point. That 12.6 is 12.6 behind Dorothea Vera. She's some 33 seconds down on the time of Kaisa Mäkäräinen coming into the range after, or for the second shoot. Possible podium.
Excellent.
Nice shooting, good control. 28.8. That's a, you know, a solid shoot, Mike. No real delays, and that will certainly give the French team something to cheer. But again, I'll be surprised if they can depose Dorothea Vera, who leads at the moment. 8th place for Bichon coming out of the range, 18.5 behind.
We saw Olena Pigrushny going by there. She's having hit 5 out of 5 first time. She's going well. Competitive performance so far.
Interesting to see Mike 12.5 behind coming in, 18.5 behind going out. Having produced a sub 30-second shoot just shows you what Vera managed.
What a star she is. Loving her biathlon. And what, some 3-4 years ago, she would be in and out of World Cup. Her health was an issue. She's much stronger now, having put in 3-4 very good summers. Training, big hours, the body is stronger.
It's the last shot on that first shoot that went wide, but she has produced 2 extraordinarily quick laps, having gone steady on the first one.
I love the way she corners, probably better than most. Easy stepping turns, no wasted energy there, and gaining speed out of the bend.
Vera outside the top 30 after the first shoot. Just shows you never, ever, ever give up. Well, she's certainly shown that last season was no stroke of luck. Tandrevold, good solid performance. You know, it's a strong team, the Norwegians. If Tandrevold doesn't produce it, maybe Eckhoff will produce a good one, and if she doesn't, then Roysland can step up and do something. And
Tandrevold, last week in the very strong wind of Östersund in the individual race and the sprint, she only missed 3 targets. She's hit all 10 today, so she's only missed 3 out of 40.
Tang Jialin. Still very, very old school now, taking that central target first. Forsberg stuck with it throughout her career.
Well, guess who's coaching? Of course, Domracheva, giving her that advice. Take the middle target. Your angles are less to travel left to right.
Yeah, I think the Chinese would be happy with the way things went up in Sweden last week. They got themselves some World Cup points in the men's tour. Spilut for Poland, another clear shoot. And just looking at, in terms of shooting, 1, 2, 8 of the first 30 have all shot the perfect score. We'll try and add up the total.
9 so far at the finish, and 64 athletes have completed. We'll probably get 15. I thought maybe we would get 10 or 12, maybe as many as 15. Now the wind has dropped away.
Bescon, a late starter, as is Caroline Colombo, who started 90 well. Bescon looking tired. That sparky tempo seems to have gone. With Vera Mike, something you notice is that as soon as the foot goes down on the snow, you get a positive drive. As we watch Pigdrushna now, the Ukrainians started the race today with Vyashchemerenko going incredibly well, set a good target time. Long delay between 3 and 4, and it has cost Pigdrushna. Wow, that's going to make a huge, huge difference. She had a chance of hitting the top 3, but not now.
Interesting, Pigdrushna, she only raced 3 World Cup races after Christmas. Yes, from what, January through to the end of March. She missed Östersund last week, but for me, she looks in really good shape. Good biathlon.
Vyashchemerenko, incidentally, now pushed down into 9th place in the finish as we watch Spilut for Poland. She's going to be around 50 seconds behind. Zuk survives. Oh, no, she doesn't. She gets pushed down to 13. Spilut in 12 now. Makarainen 11. Hauser of Austria just ahead of her. And the top 5 remain unchanged. Italy, Norway, Russia, Slovakia and Sweden. The Czech Republic in 6th with Shavatova. Roysland and Norway in 7. Actually 3 Norwegians in the top 8 positions. And they've got Notten, who's down in 16. So they're looking good for the relay this weekend.
Exhausted at the end of that. Yes, it's only 7.5 kilometers. But 257 meters of climbing during that 7.5 kilometers. Yes, you get a couple of periods of rest, 30 seconds on the range, but it doesn't really help you recover. Pulse just drops by some 30, 40 beats.
Sulumdal for Norway settling. She is currently lying in 11th after the first shoot, and the best of the late starters.
Strange, after the middle shot was missed, her brain started going into panic mode. She tightened up on the 4th, and she was fearful for the 5th.
Yeah, and that supporting hand, Mike, a little bit closer to the stock than many. It just looks a little bit cramped, the position.
It restricts, I believe, it restricts your lungs a little because you're so tight. That left hand is so close into your right hand on the pistol grip. But that's the way she's built that position. It does allow a lot of weight out the far end of the rifle, so it can feel a little more stable.
Yeah, and 10th place for Bescon. I was on that subject again. Surely the closer the supporting hand is to the butt, any movement is exaggerated at the end of the barrel, the business end of the barrel.
It is, because you've got 2 points of contact, as you say, the shoulder, and then not far forward your left hand, which is the second point of support. And there's a lot of pivotal movement out there. But you can, on good timing, on good form. I did it for one season, and you can still shoot very well, but it's not as comfortable for me as the hand like this, slightly further forward. Colombo doing well at the IBU Cup last year.
So 9 out of 10, 90%, that will do. Certainly, come the end of the season, if she's still got a 90% hit rate. And compared to last weekend, that's fantastic, because she missed 4 out of 10 in the sprint. She missed, what I think it was 8 she missed in the individual race. So nice for her to have turned things around, enjoying the slightly easier conditions here. Retseva goes through in 26, 25.4.
I mentioned Colombo racing well at the IBU Cup. She actually won 3 of her only 10 races at the IBU Cup, and that's why she's in the French team this season.
Little burst of speed coming in from Islova.
Just feel the tempo's dropped off a little from Islova. Still efficient, left knee or left leg sliding, carrying the energy from the right lead side up into the hill.
This is a cruel, cruel hill. Was it Landertinger who had 25, 30,000 fans on their feet during the World Championships? Or was it Eberhardt on that final climb? It was an unbelievable display.
I think it was Landy.
Landy, I think it was Landy.
He was off form, but he had to work hard. He had so many local fans shouting encouragement.
Yeah, that was to hold on to the bronze. And Austria really, really struggled in their own World Championships back in 2017. Star of the show back then, well, Martin Fourcade was on tremendous form. Lara Dahlmeier was the winner of the sprint in the World Championships. Winning time on that occasion. In fact, it was Kukalova who won the sprint ahead of Dahlmeier. Chevalier in the bronze medal position. 19:12 the winning time. The lead time here today, 21:26. Snow conditions little bit slower, and that's because at the Worlds we had a lot of artificial snow. Had very, very warm conditions throughout, didn't we? And it was around the middle of the day when the temperature would change, the conditions on the tracks changed, the later starters had the advantage, which is very, very rare. We saw some extraordinary results. And
certainly, as often in this valley, a lot of sunshine for the World Championships. Jislova, this is a good performance. Egil Hjelland, the Norwegian coach, we saw him running along the track side. I think he'll be happy with that performance. Yeah, and he's got Shabatova sitting in 6. So 2 Czechs in the top 15 at the moment. Dorothea Vera of Italy, though, the race leader. 21:26 her time with 1 miss.
Die kann sich noch gut einreihen unter. Na, da werden wir schauen, wo sie sich einreihen kann. Aber momentan ist sie gut unterwegs.
Top 12 for Biathlon, and just looking to see she's some 10, 11 seconds down on Vyashchemerenko, who was the first to start here today. So I think from that, Mike, we can conclude that not much of a change in terms of ski speed. We've got start number 1 and start number 84 all in the top 12, although when we look at it, the 30 seems to have been the place to start. But you know, from your highlighter pen on your start sheet, that indicates where the powerhouses were put at the start of the race.
Yes, the big names, and again, look at track speed time from Östersund last week. Not much has changed this week. Retsova, except I would say all of the Russian team performers are producing much faster track times this week.
Yeah, that's a dramatic change for the Russians. Last week it was the French. Could be skis, could be the fact that they were training very hard up to the first round of the World Cup. That seems to be the way the Russians do it. And they're never too impressive in the season's opener, but then they get better and better. So start number 100 has just come out of the range and gone into the top 10. This is Biathlon, who started 84, 44 seconds behind, only one miss, but still good enough for 12th position. Goes ahead of Mäkäräinen, who has yet to produce anything like her best this season. Early days. World Championships for biathlon every year, so maybe that's what Mäkäräinen is focusing on this time around.
Maybe it is, and we saw Biathlon finishing there. I think she's got to be so happy with that performance. Barely touched the World Cups after Christmas last year, and take her one penalty away, should be pushing for a podium today. So that's good news for the Ukrainian team in the relay.
Other teams that can be happy, well, the Polish, 2 in the top 15 at the moment. It's Blut in 14, Zuk in 15. Austria, Mike, we've talked about them a little bit. Hauser had a good run. Innerhofer had a huge opportunity. She's only a minute behind, but she missed 2 at the end of her race, and Innerhofer could certainly have gone into the top 5. And no doubt that is what she will be thinking when she looks at the result sheet tonight. Zdujic, another of the Austrians coming in. 1 miss apiece in the prone and the stand. 2:59 behind. There's a lot of work to do in terms of ski speed.
That's quite a margin. She won't be obviously making the cut-off for the pursuit. Only the top 60 today make it through to the pursuit competition. She's given everything. She can do no more. And maybe some training, or the training leading throughout the autumn into the World Cup. She looked very tired out there to me. Maybe she's overfried the late season training.
And with the women's pursuit on Sunday, Mike, and the women's relay tomorrow, do you think we'll see some of the big names from today rested? Do you think Vera's going to race in the relay? Will Tandrevold take her place on the line for the Norwegians?
Well, with the Italians finishing 12th last weekend, I think she has to race tomorrow, because the relay results are so important now to your Nation Cup standings, and therefore it's very important. They're added up, they're tallied alongside. I think we will see tomorrow, maybe later in the season, big name athletes may opt out. But I would agree, rest up your favourites, and they have a chance of a better day on Sunday. Biggest surprise, the Swiss team. Remember, finishing second in the relay. The best of the Swiss today is Heike in 19th position. I thought maybe we'd see Selina Gasparin challenging for a top 5. Just trying to find where she is. She's down in 42nd, but she missed 3 targets. Yeah,
and the one feature about their relay last weekend was the fact they didn't miss. Today, they couldn't hit.
They couldn't hit, you're absolutely right. Aita Gasparin also missing 3. And that was the story. It was all about the shooting.
So Retsova still at 39.6 in terms of where that will put her if she can hold that margin. Still into the top 10, but only just. Beskoitis, who lies 10th at the moment. Hauser of Austria just behind her. I think Hauser is the one that will be most concerned. Retsova looks to be tiring. Who wouldn't be at this stage? But she's still got one brutal climb to come. You can just see the cameraman in the background at the top of the hill. under the road, and then about 10 seconds of easy skiing before the climbing starts. And those 10 seconds have to be used to psych yourself up. Mike, Germany noticeable in their absence from the top positions.
Many questions are being asked even after Östersund. You know, what's happened to our team? We want to see podiums. Relay, they were 4th position. And Germany, they love biathlon, but they expect, and they only expect it because they've always seen their athletes in the top bracket. But this is one of the poorest performances, I think, that we've seen in World Cup racing sprint competition from the German ladies team. Hermann as best, and that's down in 38th position. I hope I'm wrong.
No, I can't see any flags, but what strikes me, Mike, is that after the first shoot, Germany are way off the mark. No one in the top 26 after the first shoot. So that really implies to me that not only are they not shooting well in the stand position, but they're not skiing well.
They're not skiing well at all. So 38th, 39th and 50th, the best 3 Germans today. And I'm wondering if when Dahlmeier races in the Schalke Stadium on the 28th of December, she's going to be in good shape, let's be honest. I wonder if they'll try and encourage her to come back to Oberhof World Cup, then Ruhpolding, then of course the World Championships in Antholz.
Yeah, they could offer the best apartments in Antholz. A week there before and after the championships, and then maybe she'll be persuaded. But she's not had a summer's training, and she may be able to produce one good result in Schalke. There's Dorothea Vera.
She is so popular. And you know what, I love the fact that she's not complex about a biathlon. She said, oh, I just went out there today and I did what I'm trained to do, and yeah, it worked. And she's a kind of carefree, and that's a lovely place to be, to not get stressed out about being the best or athletes chasing you. And she could well take that yellow bib all the way to the end of the season. So Retseva showing us the long descent. So that's from the top of the climb. It's fairly fast. The right-hander here stepping around, and there's another little drop off. There it is. Then under the bridge and to the finish.
Now remember, Retseva was 43 behind. She's lost more time, and that means that those in 13, 14, Colombo's okay. Yisleva at 53 behind is okay. She's lost a lot of ground since she came out of the range. That's a disappointing finish from Retseva. She was only 24 seconds down after that second shoot, so tiring badly. And actually, that seems to have been a feature of the Russian performances today. Mironova also much slower than many on that last loop.
No, I know. We'll talk later and explain you how it works. Here you go. Hello, Doro.
Joris just guiding Doro there into the mix zone, giving her story to so many people today. And you've got to be able to cope with that when you win so much, all the press interest. It's quite interesting. So we have a Russian athlete, Mironova, in 3rd place today. Of course, you mentioned earlier, Urlova last year took 3rd place here. But then we go down quite a way to find the next Russian athlete.
Well, Retseva at 19 is the next best, 58 seconds behind. Let's have a look at the standings. Vera has notched up win number 2 for the season. Both sprints going to her. Don't forget, she won here last year, shooting 0-1 last time around. So on both occasions, missing one and still skiing well enough to win. Tandrevold, great performance from her. That will boost her confidence for the pursuit in particular. Mironova, if she can shoot clear, could be a contender. Fialkova looked dangerous, but tired on that last lap and dropped down into 4th position. Lots of big names failing again. Mäkäräinen perhaps the most noticeable, down in 13th. Good day for the Austrians. Hauser going well. Innerhofer, good solid result from her as well. Heike of Switzerland down in 20th, having looked as though at the halfway stage as if she could finish in the top 3.
I'm just thinking, Patrick, with Dorothy Vera finishing, taking the title again today, we have to go all the way back to 2011, 2012. Magdalena Neuner was the last athlete to take the 2 first sprint races of any season. So not an easy task to achieve, and that just shows the strength of Vera. Yeah, 5.9 seconds ahead of Tandrevold, who shot the perfect score.
What about Davidova, who was second in the standings at the start of today? Davidova has not had her best day out, unless I'm missing her. She's way down in 35th, so only picks up a handful of points, top 40 getting points. Roysland was the other athlete in the top 3 of the World Cup standings at the start of today. She's got herself into 7th, so a gap will open, but Vera is going to be moving on to 156 points. My guess is she's going to be 25 points or so clear of everyone after just 3 races.
Great day for Mironova, showing throughout her junior years that she's a capable winner, and now good to see her doing it, putting it together so well in World Cup racing.
13 seconds lost over the last 2.5K, Mike. Is that something to be worried about?
I think so. She started the race well, but often when you're youthful enthusiasm or inexperienced enthusiasm, you forget about saving something for the last 2.5 kilometers. Or the enthusiasm carries you. Tandrevold, what a shooting score in windy conditions. 3 shots missed in 40 shots fired in her individual racing, not including the relays in Östersund. She's really got it together on the rifle. Ski speed's good as well. And her 5.9 seconds that she's deficit today, she could well have shot faster and won this one. But I think it's important for her and her mindset to get these targets down. Skiing well, just like Eckhoff and Roysland. But nobody today, once again, can compete with Dorothea Vera. She missed 1 target. It was the last shot in the sequence of 5 in prone shooting. But the improved strength that she seems to have come into this season with carried her with great speed over the last 2.5 kilometers. And yet another World Cup victory. She'll continue with that yellow bib certainly into Sunday's pursuit competition. Job done. Great start to her season.
Well, stunning conditions. There's the smoke in the background, just a gentle breeze, nothing to trouble them. I think the men will be happy. That looks as though they're going to get the best of the conditions. They've still got to zero their rifles. They're racing over the 10-kilometer sprint distance, and the battle between Johannes Tingesbø and Martin Fourcade will go on. Tadejbo seems to be the man who wants to join in that little foray.
Yes, he does, and he's improved by quite a margin. His ski speed is up there, his shooting, he's careful. It certainly looks good. He could well be a contender this season.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how the French get on, Mike, to give us some indication of how important the skis were in Östersund. We're really just speculating. No one really knows, because I think we miss having speed traps on the downhill sections. That really gives you a good idea. Although in biathlon, you spend, what, 85% of the time on one ski, and they don't go downhills on one ski, and that's really where you need to know how the skis are working.
That's interesting, isn't it? You're transferring your weight from one ski to the other. You're balanced on one ski for so much of the race. But without a doubt, the word from the French team, their skis were fabulous. The Norwegians, I think we can say clearly over 20 kilometers, they weren't gliding that well, because they came back strong and fast ski times in the relay. So I think it was a one-off, a blip, and I'm sure we'll see different results this week.
Yeah, and on that subject, why do you never see anyone testing their skis on one ski?
just never done. It's hard to balance on one ski when you're not going through the rhythm.
They have the rules like this, so because of that,
yeah, exactly. I know it's complicated, but there must be some there.
yeah.
Understand that. But for public TV and
interesting. They have the rules like this.
Yeah,
you know, she should know the rules.
I think Dorothea just questioning her obligations now, having won this race here in Hochfilzen. Obviously, the press want their share. They want to hear about the race. And not being so far from Italy, I think we could see a few Italian fans turning up for the weekend, and particularly for Sunday, when Vera will be the first away. Moronova, it's going to be her best chance to get a win in World Cup. Tandrevold, never done better than second, so she's equalled her PB today. Big occasion for her. Can she handle the pressure on Sunday when it comes to the pursuit? But she's also got to handle this woman, Dorothea Vera, shooting brilliantly in the stand position.
Dorothea, another win in the sprint. This time, compared to last year, was a miss in the prone, but one miss and a win. How's it?
Yeah, strange, you know, because after the pro shooting, I was sure that today was the race was over, because I felt really strange on the track, so I didn't know if it's good or bad. And finally, I was just concentrate about my standing shooting to hit them, and it works really good. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, another win.
Thanks.
WMU World Cup Biathlon Winners Presentation auf Rang Nummer 3. Insert presentation from Russia, Svetlana Mironova. In second place, auf Rang Nummer 2, representing Norway aus Norwegen, Ingrid Landemark-Tandrevold. Blumen werden überreicht vom Vizepräsidenten der EU, Dr. Klaus Reist. Und damit kommen wir zur großen Siegerin. First and winner Hochfilzen 2019 aus Italien, representing Italy, Dorothea Vera. Bauerfrau aus Italien mit dem erneuten Fingerzeig in Richtung der gesamten Konkurrenz. Mit ihr ist natürlich auch bei den Heimweltmeisterschaften dann sowas von zu rechnen. Auf Platz Nummer 4, Enforce, representing Slovakia aus der Slowakei, Paulina Fialkova. An der 5. Stelle, NFEFs, representing Sweden, Hanna Öberg. Und auf Rang Nummer 6 in Things, representing Czech Republic aus der Tschechischen Republik, Lucy Karatova. Damit kommen wir auch zur Übergabe der österreichischen Antwort auf den Champagner, nämlich Schlumberger Sekt, und der wird überreicht vom Generalmajor Andreas Bernstein in Richtung der Erst-, Zweit- und Drittplatzierten. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, nochmals, put your hands up in the air, der Applaus für die Top 6 des heutigen Tages. Doro, hau den runter, den Schlumberger Sekt. Doro, paar Worte vielleicht zum Publikum über deine erneute Glanzleistung. Sieg Nummer 2 nach 3 Einzelrennen, so kann es weitergehen. Fein. Morgen am Abend